Okay, hi, my name is Avery Campbell, and this is my big board presentation. So to begin, I'll talk a little bit about me. So as I said, my name is Avery Campbell. I'm a senior here in the Flex program, and I've been a part of Flex for 4 years. And I am a young lady. I'm 18, I'm cute, I'm going about the world, and I'm a very strong feminist. So why are those things important? Well, first of all, I'm just a girl. I'm not psycho. I'm not an extremist. I'm just a person that wants the best for myself. And that's what feminism is. It's women wanting what is best for them. So now, for you non-women in the room, you males in the room, um, why should you be feminists? Because feminism is not just for women. It's not just for crazy women who don't shave their armpits and burn their bras and hate men. No, it's for all of us. It's for everyone. So men, how many of you have met a woman before? Oh, all of you. Wow, you are really trying hard because women are so hard to find these days. I think rare sighting. So now, as those women that you've met, how many of you love and care about at least one of those women? Okay, all of you. Surprising, I know. So there's your reason, right there. You care about women. You care about someone specifically. Your mother, your sister, your girlfriend. If you're looking far into the future, your children. You could have a daughter, and you want the best for that daughter. So you kind of got to be a feminist for that. So I'm going to be talking about a variety of different things. We're just going to start off with some smaller topics, some really social changes. So first we're going to be talking about education. Now, education is so important to all of our young people, including young women. I spoke to the AAUW Birmingham chapter, that's the American Association for University Women, and we had well, I guess they would call it a presentation, I would call it a seminar. I was really there for them. I wanted to hear all their opinions and experiences. The AAUW focuses around educating young women. All the women part of that program are really committed to education. Lots of them are educators, teachers themselves. Many of them have taught here in the BPS school system. So really great experience. And they talked a lot about the importance of giving girls opportunity for education and for, accepting the fact that young women and young men learn and think differently, so we have to acknowledge that in their education. A lot of them told me stories about when they were in school, when their children were in school, and their counselors would stray them away from science and math classes because it's a male-dominated environment and field, and it was just they didn't see it would work for women. So how do we change that? Well, we don't just keep it the same and shove girls in. We look at why this is so male-driven and then adjust and accept that girls want to do this. Make it okay for them to do that. And not just give them the opportunity, but make it, I don't say make it cool, but you gotta make it cool, you know? So many times young women are dismissed if they're interested in STEM classes as like nerds and weirdos, but they're not. Like, just because a guy is interested in math doesn't make him a weirdo. Why does it make us weirdos? Just little things like that. Not to mention, women's education just allows them to get better jobs and to support them and their families better. And that's just economically, it just makes more sense. If you're only using and educating half of your workforce, I mean, what are you doing? You're wasting half of your workforce. And there are so many women enrolled in college, but again, it's just one thing you have to keep pushing and pushing, that education is for everyone. Also allowing opportunities for young women to excel in education is oh so important. So our next big topic is going to be body image and clothing choice, which is, I think everyone's experienced some problems with body image, male or female, but young women especially have a very hard time with this. So when you're growing up, when you're a kid, you all kind of look the same, your faces look the same, you wear the same articles of clothing, and then puberty happens, and your body freaks out, and you don't know what's happening, and it's really confusing. And the boys, they don't seem to be changing that much. Now, I have some scruff on their face, might be getting a little bit taller, having more of a chin, less of a baby face. But I have new body parts that I didn't have before. That's insane. Like, I'm growing things, and my shape is changing, and most importantly, people are starting to look at me very differently. So now, an example I give from my life is I hit puberty pretty young, you know, it kind of sucked. I was already taller than everyone, and I was starting to grow breasts, and my hips were changing, and like everything was weird, and I got acne. But one of the things that really confused me is I had a favorite shirt, and it was just like a t-shirt. It wasn't anything, obviously, I don't know how a prepubescent girl could have like an inappropriate teenage shirt already, but it was just like a t-shirt. And I couldn't wear it anymore. Now, the shirt was the same shirt. Now, I was the same person with the same brain and the same thoughts and morals. I was still Avery, but just now my body was different, and that somehow changed everything. Because now me wearing that shirt was not me wearing my favorite shirt, it was me looking inappropriate and wrong. So that was kind of hard because no one explained to me what was wrong. Now, I knew that my body was changing, and I knew that it didn't fit quite the same way, but no one told me what they really were trying to tell me and saying that, Avery, you can't wear this shirt anymore because people are going to look at you sexually, and I don't want you to get raped or assaulted. That's really what you're saying at that point. Which is kind of terrifying because, I wore a bra in like 5th grade, so I was like 10, 11, and yet somehow, in the world's brain, because I had breasts, I was just ready for sexual activity. I was just prepared for it. People were going to start looking at me differently, and I had to be ready. I had to cover myself for that. No, I was still like 10. It's not like I jumped from like the innocence of a lamb to just like a crazy level of sexuality that could only be obtained by a full-grown woman. Like, no, I was 10. I just had boobs and I didn't know what to do with them, and I was awkward and weird, and I didn't like people telling me what to do, which is a whole separate problem. But when you tell a girl that she can't wear something because it's revealing and distracting and inappropriate, you're telling her that it's wrong. And not that her shirt is wrong, you're telling her that she is wrong, that something needs to be done about this, that it needs to be covered up. Not advocating that 10-year-olds run around topless everywhere. No, that's ridiculous. All I'm saying is that they're 10. Wearing leggings isn't going to kill them. Wearing a shirt, it's not going to kill them. And the real problem is that you need to start teaching the world around you that this is a 10-year-old girl. Even if she has breasts and you can see them, does not make it okay for you to have inappropriate thoughts about her or to touch her in any way. It's still wrong, and we forget that. A lot of these issues came to light as far as public school dress codes this past year. An example is a young woman in Canada wore a pair of jean shorts that were apparently too short. Now, she was told that she had to change because she was being inappropriate, even though it was a very hot day, like when you would wear shorts because it's really hot. And she had a really great quote. I'm a 15-year-old girl. If you're sexualizing me, you're the problem. And I feel like this rings very true. I'm an 18-year-old girl. I can buy a house, own a gun, have sex, buy cigarettes. I'm free. Kind of. I can't vote. I'm free. And I'm still kind of weirded out with the idea of being sexy. Like, that's still weird for me. It's still a little uncomfortable because I've only had 18 years of life and even smaller amount of years of the idea of being sexy is vaguely okay for me. So she's 15. I don't know how she could possibly be sexy to anyone for any reason. I just don't understand how 15 can seem sexy. So that means that someone's just perceiving it as sexy, and that's the problem we need to deal with. We need to teach our young men that we need to focus. You can't be distracted by young girls. Like, there's nothing to be distracted by. I mean, I speak for myself in this, but boys are really cute. Boys are so cute. They have their skinny jeans and their tight t-shirts. Oof, man, I stare at boys all day. And yet somehow I muster the strength and I continue working on my schoolwork. It's really hard for me to do, look past that super cute haircut 2 lines ahead of me in math and just finish my test. It's a struggle for me daily, but somehow I do it. Young girls are equally as sexual as young boys. We are equally as distracted, and we are equally as interested in the opposite sex. I mean, and yet somehow we just continue to go through our day. Ask any young girl, I'm sure she can tell you of her struggles with that. So, finally, we're going to be talking about lifestyle choice, specifically around motherhood. The choice of being a mother, if being a mom is right for you, how is our society perceiving that? Now, for me right now, kids sound awful. I don't know how parents do it. They scream, they smell, they just keep talking, they don't do what I say. Sounds terrible, and I don't want that. And as an 18-year-old, totally cool for me to say that. Totally 100% fine for me to say that. But let's say I was 35. What then? I almost guarantee you that someone would come up to me and say, don't you feel like you're missing something? I mean, don't you just get that motherly urge? I mean, that's natural, that's your job. If you don't feel that, something's wrong with you. You're not wrong. You're just a person. Lots of men choose not to have children, and yet they are never questioned about their choice to not be a father. And it's not like the woman's sole job to reproduce children. We have other things we can do with our time. Not to mention that there's a whole other set of chromosomes that is required to create a child. I can't just think, baby, 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 baby. Ugh, my whole life is completed right now. I just had a child, I'm done. It's not how it works. You need a whole other half. Just because I incubate the thing doesn't mean that I'm in charge of it. I don't have control over life. I'm just one half of the equation. It takes two to make a thing go right, not one. And not to mention, if you do choose to become a mom, and you're going into work, being a working mom, that's a whole other issue of discrimination. And it's not active discrimination. It's not like someone saying, let's screw all the women. It's not a back panel of white men in charge of the world, patriarchy, saying, let's just be done with all the women. We hate them, they're terrible, they're useless. No, it's just, we've put ourselves into society, and we haven't updated it, and it's time to update it. That's all it is. It's no one's fault, no one's wrong, it's just an update. And by this, working moms are so important to our workforce. Again, 50% of our workforce, you can't forget that you need to invest in women. So my dad is, he's an executive, he manages his sales team, and he was talking to me about one of his employees one day, because he wanted to give her a promotion, but he couldn't do it. And my initial thought is Dad, it's the 21st century, and you have a daughter, and you have me as a daughter, that's even worse, you have to give this woman the job, who are you kidding, just because she's a woman, what's wrong with you, Dad? But he said she just can't commit the hours, she has 3 kids and a husband who also works, and she can't be there the amount of hours she needs to be there for this position. And I understood that from a business point of view. I said, well, they can't be there, but then I'm thinking, well, But that's too easy. That's just too much of a write-off. Why can't the husband take care of the kids? And then she can have the hours. Now, I don't know their family situation. I don't know these people. I have not met them. I don't know they had a conversation about this, but she loses out if her kids get sick because she's the one who has to take care of them. The husband does not. She's using her sick days, her vacation days, all of her days, sacrificing for her family and not allowing her to get the promotion that she deserves. How do we fix this? You can't just hand out promotions because people can't come at the hours. That's not a good business plan. What some companies are doing is they're pairing up two working moms together, and then let's say, Diane and Suzanne. Say Suzanne's kid has a pageant. Diane will cover Suzanne, and Suzanne will go to the pageant. Now let's say Diane's kid gets sick. Suzanne will cover Diane's shift, and it's all good. So there's two women. They're not working the same job. They're just helping each other cover the spots, filling the holes. Now, what this does is it helps the women work through when their kids are young and need a lot of attention, and kids do grow up. Kids do grow up, and they do their own thing, and moms have more free time. So they're investing in these women long term, not only for them as just workers, but their creativity, their insight. They really want them there. They're investing in this family and these people, so that when their kids grow up, they stay with the company. And that's loyalty. If you offer good services to women, women will be loyal, just like any person would be. You be nice to people, people are nice to you. So that's just a really simple solution. I'm just going to check the time real quick because my computer went out. Okay. So finally, we're going to be talking about one of the heavier subjects in modern feminism, and that is the rape epidemic that is sweeping the country. Now, earlier this year, my friend was raped, and along with being terrifying, very emotional, and sad, it was weird. It was a weird thing to be writing specifically like this paper, writing about this, and then have it hit so close to home. She called me after it happened. It was around 2 a.m. I didn't pick up, so I called her the next day. She didn't want to tell me because no one wants to say that. No one wants to say that. So I just kind of had to guess until I knew for sure. I was at school. We were both crying. I didn't know what to do, so I told her, have you talked to the police? She had not. And we had to ask ourselves who wanted to talk to the police. And that was the weird part. Both me and my friend, supporter and victim, are strong women, We're smart, we're feminists, we know what you should do, we're not grasping for help all the time. Like, we know the process we should follow, and yet we still have to ask ourselves, do we call the police? And that's why I understood, why victims don't always speak up. It's shameful. You feel dirty and wrong, and you feel like it's your fault. I truly understood that now from that experience, that even the smartest woman can have trouble reporting a rape. It's not about not knowing what to do. It's about having the strength to do it. So she went to the hospital. She got a rape kit. She had the police come. They took down her statement. She had not decided she wanted to press charges yet. This was because she knew her rapist. It was a family friend, someone who had helped her through her parents' divorce, someone she trusted and knew and loved, Like, this was someone like her brother that did this to her, and she held his life in her hands. She could report, at that time she was thinking he would get convicted and spend time in jail, and that's a lot. That goes on someone's record. And she was again struggling with this, even though she knew what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to report it. You're supposed to give them a name. They're supposed to hunt them down. And that's when I knew the hardship, because 3 out of 4 rapists are someone the victim knew. I really understood that now, and I hadn't before. So we took down all of her information, had the rape kit tested. So a couple weeks later, she went back in and decided that she wanted to press charges. She started talking to the officer, and he told her that she could not press charges. Because apparently, a rape kit is not enough evidence of rape. Not to mention, the guy she accused, she knew. She knew him. Well, you consented to get in the car. Isn't that consent enough? So she did not end up reporting him because they would not let her. Her rapist has nothing on his record. He walks away free, and the worst part said he called her after, because it didn't even cross his mind that when she was saying, no, 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 please stop, that she was serious. Didn't even cross his mind. This is not about someone tracking you down at night, tackling you, insulting you in an alleyway, though that does happen way more than it should. This is about young men not understanding the word no. Simple word. It's in English. Simply not understanding that when a girl says no, she actually means it. And this terrifies me, because I have to go to college next year. You know what doesn't scare me? Guns don't scare me. Terrorists don't scare me. Spiders don't scare me. Heights don't scare me. College boys scare the crap out of me. Young men I know, they're great men. I love them. I trust them. I don't think they're rapists. I don't think all men are rapists. But I know that some of them are. And I know that some of them don't know that they are. And that's the most terrifying thing. Now what can we do to change all of these problems? It's not about signing a petition. It's not about protesting. It's not about passing a law. It's about consciously changing yourself, your life, and those around you for the rest of your life. It's about teaching the young people around you right from wrong, yes from no, and the importance of accepting people, regardless of race, gender, sexuality. That's just a general rule. Be nice to people. Understand that everyone is different and has different needs and specifications. And just be nice to people. Be nice to women. Make a good decision. Push for the world that you wish to see. Thank you.